provide us stuff and material on the coronavirus scare. We'll be getting to them one after the other as time moves on. Mokum Thomas is here from Bamenda, and with him we'll be looking at how does life look like when you are a reporter in Bamenda, in the English-speaking parts of Cameroon in general. Michael Foncha is going to be around with the trending pidgin news stories. Tanfu Jones is also expected to come along with what's ticking on the social media platforms. But then, let me tell you about something else, right? It was supposed to unfold in Kampala, Uganda from the 16th to the 17th of April. But as a result of the scare, the virus, right, it has been moved to July the 23rd and 24th. Yeah, I'm sure I'm correct. Right, and I'm referring there to the 2020 Africa Youth Conference. He is here because he's president of the Africa Patriotic Youth Council movement. Yes. Thanks for coming, Ernest.
I'm happy to be here once more to update our youth on how things are unfolding. So it's a pleasure.
And before we go ahead, I'm going to ask if you're disappointed as a result of the adjournment of this very big meeting. But then, congratulations for the appointment that you have, right?
Thank you so much.
You've been appointed national
and coordinator for the set event, and we think that most of us are disappointed because this is an event where a lot of respected people with people like Professor Lumumba was supposed to be making a speech there, and the president of Uganda was supposed to be present, and a lot more of patriotic Africans, which would have learned a lot from them. The coronavirus issue has really shut down a lot of activities globally, and that has affected our activities as well. So we are disappointed, but we are not giving up. We still hold on to that upcoming event. Actually, there were supposed to be two events in Uganda coming April.
Okay.
We have the African Patriotic Youth Council movement Uganda event, and coupled to the NRO Committed Association of Uganda, which has is piloting this event as well.
Okay.
So this event was supposed to take place both in April, but unfortunately we are where we are today, and we just pray that our people within the continent should be saved while we look forward for that day to come. They should remain safe and protected.
July the 23rd and 24th is not supposed to be very far, but provided the virus
gives room for that to happen.
For public gatherings to begin again across the continent and across the world in general. But what was going to be on the menu? What is supposed to be on the menu at the 2020 Africa Youth Conference?
Yes, this event was supposed to talk about Africa as a global power, becoming a global power. And also, it's possible. The problem
become a global power?
It's possible. The problem is the mindset. If we reform the mindset towards that, we can as well achieve it. It's not the problem of. The problem is not what has happened to Africa. What has happened to Africa has happened to other continents, and we have seen them where they are today. So the problem is what you do about what happened, the measures you take after an effect that occurs to you. So we look forward to see that we reform our mind towards believing that we can do it, because when you look at Europe after the Second World War, nobody will believe that Europe will still be where it is today, why Africa is where it is now. So the problem is the mental ability to see things possible, and the strategy put in place, the belief that you can make it using your own skills. You can depend on your effort. The problem is, as long as you don't give up, you are moving forward.
Right. I actually look at you every now and then, and I really admire the passion that you have for the empowerment of young people across Africa. But every time I'm looking at you, it's with a bit of sympathy, because I say to myself, this guy is wasting his time and effort, because that paradigm shift and that mindset alteration you're talking about is not going to happen in this generation. Our young people are into the beer, the cigarettes, the nightclubs, and the music, and so there's nobody who's ready to think about how do I get a satellite up into space to make Africa.
And that is where I find it a bit boring on my side, because actually what you are saying is very true. You know, when you are thinking of a problem that is affecting you, you are gradually getting a way out from to resolve that problem. But unfortunately, our mind has not been shifted towards the direction in which it should be now. Even at the level of at the national levels, you see the implementations of government policies. It doesn't favor the youth and how it doesn't make them feel that their dreams can be achieved. So I believe that it's as a result of what you're saying that has always pushed me forward, because I've read about great people. They didn't just get up to be great, and you see that they have kept a lot of tenacity. They did not give up even when it was they find no possibility to move forward. They believe that something can be done, and eventually something happened that they emerged to be where they are today. The problem is just the ability to believe that there is possibility tomorrow, even if you cannot see it now.
So yeah, and I like it when you end there, because it's been lingering on my lips. Do you think that because even if you cannot see it now, the achievements you're struggling to accomplish, do you sometimes sit around and think that I'm preaching in the wilderness?
No, I have never seen that happening to me, because when I read about people like the former president of Ghana, Kwame Nkrumah, he had a vision for the continent, and if people had believed what he foresaw for the continent, we will not be where we are today. He died without achieving the dreams, and Gaddafi as well put forward good dreams that admired us to today. We still feel that if some of those dreams were being achieved, we will not be where we are today. But those dreams have actually driven Africa forward positively, because when you read, we need a revolutionary mindset. To an extent, as of now, Africa need a revolutionary mindset, not mindset that will, not politicians. Politicians will not lead us to where we are. They have been there for close to 50 years. Our problems are only increasing. What do? Should we continue to rely on them while they use us for their material abilities? Or I don't know. And so we look forward to seeing a system where we own the future belongs to us, not to the ancestors that are still alive.
It's rhetoric. I heard that a million times.
Yeah, they have told us that, and those that are supposed to be telling us that should be ourselves, not the grandfathers sitting in big positions and telling you.
How do you knock them off?
You knock them off by strategizing a formula that works.
Is that why you're going to?
Yeah, because when you
think about taking the old men off the seats of power,
not taking them off.
Africa.
The problem is even you take them off without our generation having the right ability to lead. It means nothing. It's better to let somebody there who has at least an understanding of how things works. But it's also worse if you take that person out without having somebody to replace the person. So the problem is when we realize that the foundation has been laid and everybody now knows what is good for Africa, the African youth can now know that if we strategize like this is going to take us to our destiny. By the time we see those things happening, by the time we have reasons to believe in ourselves, by the time we believe that when Africa comes together, there can be a solution of this crisis, because ideas will be exchanged, and at the end you will have some resolve that will be better than if you had sat in your own room alone to actualize this situation. So that is our vision. We believe that when two minds meet, they cannot come back with the same thinking.
But you need a critical mass of young people across the continent to be able to effect the change.
That is why we look forward to impacting this understanding in them, so that by the time you are saying one thing in Cameroon about moving Africa forward economically, somebody in Nigeria should be saying the same in East Africa, in North Africa. When this mindset is cooperating within the continent, we have it moving. As of now, we have 36 African countries in the APYCM, the African Patriotic Youth Council movement.
That's quite
this
a
is
number, right?
Yeah, that at least we have taken half of the continent, and if we now as we look forward to strategizing our resources on how we can stand on our own to build up the formula that will lead us to where we are going, you will start seeing that things are changing. Because at the time when we now have our meetings without calling our government to give us supporting funds, I think that is the moment we start believing in ourselves and seeing possibility coming through. As of now, if you have a dream and you want someone to push forward when the the finances, the possibility of pushing forward the dream is in the control of someone else, just know that that dream is not longer, is not yet yours.
Who finances the African Patriotic Youth Council?
We believe that
the
aspect of financing this organization is self contributions, because we believe that we are still looking forward to put in place strategies, not only strategies but physical possibilities of financial. That is how we can generate income on our own. Like,
you know why I'm asking you that question? Because I love this adage that goes something like every gift is like a moral cord.
Yeah.
And it's tied around the neck of the recipient by the giver.
yes.
You know, so if the government give you money, they will expect that you sing the song
According to them. Yes, that is actually, we've had people wishing to support us. But the problem is, when you start accepting support, you are actually, it's just like a bribe.
So, I mean, in
when you
other words,
accept
you
support,
deny. Sometimes you refuse and you reject the money.
as long as it does not, you first you have to be analyze if your vision towards our dreams is also one of the consideration why we should think that you are supporting us genuinely.
Right.
Because if we have seen you as a brutal politician and you wish to support us, it means that you are going to brutal our organization, and as well we will not move forward.
So in other words, you don't take donations from any kind of person.
Yes, we don't accept. A lot of screening
process.
process, because a lot of dreams like this has come out and died because of misunderstanding of those that are wishing to come into the organization.
What's the relationship you have at the APYCM with the governments in Africa as we speak? Do you?
We actually, our relationship,
interact?
our relationship has to go with other youth organization and non-governmental organizations, because we also wish to build a very trust and productive relationship with African government, because a dream like this cannot go
without. The
without.
contradiction comes in. These are the same government you're just impatient to eject.
Yes, when we said we want to deal with government, meaning that if we prove that the possibility of having 4 is 2 plus 2, and we present the formula to the government, and we present the formula to government. Actually, if you are not a wicked government, you will have to accept the formula that is right, and that should be the formula that is moving Africa forward. That is what we mean by making the government believe in us, that we are not going to lead the continent down.
All right, that's it for the relationship that you have with the government.
Yes.
In Cameroon, for example, let's limit it there. There is an organization called the National Youth Council.
Yes.
What's your relationship with the National Youth
My
Council?
relationship
By the government.
Yeah, the relationship with I'm part of the Cameroon National Youth Council.
Right.
I'm the divisional president for Cameroon National Youth Council at the for Fontaine, the BLM division. And I want to say that I am embarrassed with the way the National Youth Council is structured, and not only with the way it's structured, it's not. It is just like a dream. It's just like a political instrument put in place by the government to control the youth. I'm sincerely saying this because
you're still in there. Why don't you resign and give it up?
The problem is not resigning. I have opted many times to do so, but since the time is running out, I just believe when this mandate go, I shouldn't be part of what is not producing effectively.
In other words, Ernest,
yes.
What I'm saying is, I mean, the statement
because
that
actually
is going to
the
be
government has not.
Statement.
There is
if you
no.
step out of the place and say this thing is not functioning as it should function, that statement will make a lot of reports.
I have written a lot of I've granted a lot of interview on that, on how we can at least push the government to recognize that power given to the youth in Cameroon should not be verbal. It should be mandatory. And to an extent, you see Cameroon just put up a structure today and tomorrow it disappears, because they are putting those structures to appease the international community for nothing. And it's because we have accepted ourselves to be used like slaves and those that do not have anything to offer. And the problem is, I have a lot of things to do at the continental level, and I also need this relationship at the national level. But because the relationship at the national level is not conducive enough, I am appealing that sometime they said you have to continue until you reach where you can no longer take it.
Okay.
Because I'm still thinking that the government will listen to our appeals and put in place some measures that will suit the youth, and maybe make a Cameroon National Youth Council a better one that people outside the National Youth Council can admire.
Okay. You know what? I want to wish you a lot of luck. Good luck on your journey. I know it's going to be a very tough one.
Yeah, it's going to be.
But since you have that passion and it's burning and burning, I just believe that someday you'll be able to break through. I'll ask you this question. I'll give you 30 seconds to respond.
Okay.
It's going to be a tricky one. Are the young people across Cameroon ready to embrace empowerment? Are
Yes.
they willing to take up the challenge?
Yes, they are
Put
willing.
destiny into their own hands?
They are willing, and the only thing is that they are not willing to do what it takes. They are willing for change, but you know, before you achieve something, you have to do what you have. Before you achieve something different, you have to do something different.
What's that something different?
The something different is thinking actually different and acting different. How do you think different and act different? If you used to sleep 8 hours and you are not getting to your dreams, start sleeping 6 hours and use 2 hours to research on how to get to your dreams. So that is how you start making some reforms in the way you think, the way you act, and you subsequently you see that change is coming. You cannot remain in the comfort zone, and you find what you need outside your comfort zone.
It's been a pleasure having you.
It's always my pleasure.
Wish you the luck once again, and pray that the coronavirus goes away so you can have this meeting come July the 23rd and the 24th in Kampala, Uganda.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
will
2020
pray.
Africa Youth Conference.
Yeah.
Congratulations once again on your appointment.
Thank you, sir. So one word, I wish to also use this opportunity to emphasize on the coronavirus that we should not take it lightly. As long as some people are putting rumors that we are blacks, it doesn't affect us. I want to say that no matter what it is, it's a global crisis and it is killing people. We wish to encourage our youth to take preventive measures, and until it is over, then we believe that we are safe.
I was going to truncate you, but I realized that it was a big message you were passing across. That's why I let you do it. Thanks.